You see what happens when you get curious? What's up guys, Wallen Customs here, and today we are looking at the Marvel Legends series Captain America Civil War Black Panther. Ooh, looks pretty good. Here's the back, it looks nice. Let's open them up. Alright guys, so here is Black Panther out of the box now. I have to say, and I have to admit right off the bat, this figure looks awesome looking. Just looking at it, it looks really cool, but we got a lot of stuff to cover for it. So first off, let's take a look at accessories. He is part of the Giant Man series where you have to build Giant Man. So this is the left leg, I believe. Pretty good quality actually. I like how it feels really sturdy, really stiff. Got some nice articulation as well. So we'll see if I get to actually collect the whole series. I actually have most of them except for Nick Fury. So once I find him, I actually should be done. The next thing we have here is the alternative head we have here for the King of Wakanda, or is he the king or he's the prince in this one? I don't know. But here he is. I forget the actor's name playing him, but I saw pictures and I think it looks pretty good. Either way though, it still really is a good sculpt for the face. No complaints there. Really nice and clean looking. Looks like a brand new sculpt as well, so that's a good thing too. And we'll get the head on really quickly later in the video. But let's take a look at Black Panther now. Alright, now taking a look at Black Panther straight up and close. Man, he is a gorgeous action figure. Man, you really have to take a look at this figure and admire him. Hasbro definitely did a great job when it comes to sculpting. If you're not in HD, you better get in HD right now. Get your settings in HD because I'm going up close so you can see this. There you go. Man, take a look at that. Amazing. It really is something to look at. I have to admit how shocked I am how much detail and sculpting went into this figure. Look at the back. Just really nice. The necklace on top is actually molded on. You can't take it off if anyone's wondering. Actually, maybe you could. Actually, you could. You could. You might have to actually rip it off, but it's a separate piece actually. But it's supposed to stay on there. But going down to the rest of the figure, looks really good. He has some nice claws right there, as you can see. Looks pretty good. Nice paint job as well. Nice detail. Going down to the rest of the figure. Overall, it's just an amazing looking figure. Can't get around that. So like I said before, it looks awesome, but it does have some bad qualities to it, so we're going to get into that right now. Alright, so we talked about how awesome this figure looks. Let's talk about more detailed stuff and get more critical about it. For one thing, we're going to go into quality control. Now, I'm a little worried about this because, this figure looks nice. The quality of the plastic is good. The head is good. The body is definitely great. The legs are pretty good too, and no complaints in the legs. But when you get to the arms and the shoulders, that's where I get a little bit worried. It is only, maybe it's just my copy, but from other reviews I watched too, people have problems with theirs. For one thing, the shoulders don't have the greatest movement. They're on their hinges, but they have a little bit of a ratchet to it, like a clicking. So they only have like one or two. It's like one click up and that's it. One click down, that's it. You move it up, get maybe two. No, it's one. That's it. So that's something I don't like. But the biggest thing I do not like is when it comes to the quality of the plastic, when it comes to the arms itself. Basically, the bicep down is what scares me the most. So let's get into some details about this. It definitely feels like it's a different quality of plastic, a lot softer, rubberier, not as sturdy. Definitely, that kind of scares me, especially if you take a look at it with such a tight jointed shoulder and such a weak bicep swivel. You can see it wobbles a lot. A lot of people could be moving the shoulders around by the arms. You need to rip it out, or you could tear something, and that really does scare me a little bit. So you have to be really careful of yours. Really get your thumb and your index finger onto that shoulder when you're moving around, so you get some nice support there. You don't want to rip out the bicep. I mean, you can even look at the bicep. It doesn't even look like it's made for this figure. You can see that right there. And that, I hate when they do that. I don't understand, because it's such a great looking figure. Nice head sculpt, nice sculpting, nice everything. But when it comes to the arms, they just kind of half-assed it, it could have been a 10 out of 10 figure. Now it's definitely like a 7.5 figure with a little bit of questioning. It's just something I hate about when toy companies do this. So yeah, like I said before, the bicep is very loose. It feels like a whole different quality of plastic right here in the whole arm. The double jointed elbows, you could definitely feel it. It's a little bit loose, soft. You know what I mean? I know Hasbro has always had that problem. Even a couple lines back, all the figures have sucked. Every single figure felt like they had like rubbery legs, rubbery arms, and I feel like they kind of steered away from that for maybe one or two lines, and now it's slowly creeping back, it looks like. Yeah, so that's something I don't like about that. But when it comes to the rest of the figure, everything in quality control looks good. Good legs, like good legs feel nice and sturdy. I had no problem with them at all. It's just these biceps and the bicep swivel and the elbows right here. Everything just feels a little bit too soft. Alright, so since we're talking about articulation anyway, let's get into it. He has a ball jointed head on a hinge, but it doesn't have the greatest movement. Yeah, let's try it. It feels like you're just gonna rip off the head anyway. It barely moves. It's pretty stiff actually. Too stiff if you ask me. So yeah, there you go. It does go left and right. Doesn't really pivot that much either. The shoulder joint, I went over that already. I went over the arms. For the wrist joint right here, he has a swivel and a hinge. So that's pretty nice. He does have nice claws. So that's pretty good too. I do wish that he came with a fist. You could change the hands out for the fist, but he doesn't have that. Now we get to the ab joint, which everyone has heard is a little bit weird. You can see that it's like he has a long, really long torso. The articulation is great. It just looks very weird, and that's about it right there. Waist swivel, waist swivel right there. T-jointed hips, looks good there. Thigh swivel, 2 points at the knee, no problems there. No boot swivel, but the ankle he has a pivot and a hinge, so that's really nice. So he does have nice articulation. The articulation is there. Sometimes it might look weird, or it might be a little too stiff, but we went over that already. But you can still get him into nice, awesome poses when you get past all that stuff. Alright, so let's take a look at the alternative head he has right here. So it's pretty simple. You just pop it off, and you stick this one on. If it wants to go on, hold on. There you go. And there you go. Looks pretty good. No complaints there. I think they did a great job in the sculpting of the head. Fits the body very well. Articulation on it, it feels a little bit more stiff on this head than the other one, but it does move around a little bit better. But now it looks kind of weird. But there you go. Pretty cool. I'm glad that we at least get alternative heads. Sometimes people do want to see who's underneath the mask, so that's a good thing right there. Alright, so for size comparisons, and here is a nice direct comparison with the original Black Panther figure from Toy Biz. This is one of my favorite figures to date, literally. I just love this figure. That really comes down to you and preference, which one you like better. This is obviously the movie version, this is the comic book version. Something also to point out, me standing them up straight like this, when you look at his shoulder and arm right here, this is the limit it could go to going down straight down to the body. It doesn't go down any closer, so you're gonna have a gap right here. That just shows the limitation of the shoulder joints that I was talking about. It has either one click down, one click up, and sometimes the way it's just sculpted, it just looks kind of awkward as well. So that's something to point out. But getting back to the comparison, like I said before, it really comes down to preference, which one you like better. In my opinion, I think this one looks better. From the movie version, definitely looks better. This is still my favorite version though. Articulation, comic book version as well. If I had it my way, what I would do is just put this head on this body and give it better repaint then. That's how I would go. Because I love the fact that this one has the long claws, but you can still make it into a fist as well. He kind of has brass knuckles on his knuckles as well. Like, if you look at right here. You look at his knuckles, his hands. There you go. So he has the articulated fingers. He has the claws. You can bring it in. He has these little spikes at the end of his fists. So I like that a lot. But like I said before, it really comes down to preference, which one you like better. People might like the sculpting on that one. Yeah, I can't deny how awesome that looks, so that's it. So for another size comparison, here is Black Panther with some of the more up-to-date Marvel cinematic figures right here and characters. I like the size difference right here. You know, Black Panther is just a tad shorter than Captain America, which I like. I think it's a good thing. I think they should all be in proportion to how they are in real life. You can see, though, he has a more built body. That could be just the suit, I don't know. But I like how they all had different proportions, different bodies, different sizes, you know. More realistic, which is good. This is actually the Captain America from Age of Ultron. I didn't get the new one yet. I had a chance to buy it right in front of me, but I couldn't do it. I don't know how many of these Captain Americas I could buy, to be honest. And even though I know it does come with the head for Giant Man, I have to see. Maybe I'll wait a little bit, but other than that, here is the size comparison. I like how everything looks. And just for fun, possibly the 3 richest superheroes ever, right there, unmasked. Alright guys, so that is my review on the Captain America Civil War Black Panther figure right here. You know, like I said before, it's a great looking figure. There are some problems to it, obviously. I went over the shoulders, the quality control, and the plastic in the arms. When you get past that though, it still is a great looking figure. You finally get him posed. He looks awesome no matter what you do with him. Definitely something you want to pick up. Don't get me wrong, it might have its problems, but you still will want to have this in your collection. I know it's really hard to find, so try your best, get it from retail. If you really want it, push for those higher prices. I think it's worth it overall though. It just looks really nice, the sculpting is great, and you can't get around and admire how awesome this figure looks no matter what. You see what happens when you get curious? You find something new and you might actually like it. So I was just messing around, seeing what parts fit where, how it looks like, and I came across this little combination right here. And I have to admit, I actually like it better than this original figure. You know, it's a great looking figure. Like I said, it has some flaws to it, but something about this looks pretty cool. You know, the whole new, more realistic, updated aspect and look of the Black Panther. I think I might like a more military looking outfit on him, and with the white and the silver, you know, this is really oddly molded very well, in my opinion. That is, you might not like it. Maybe you like the sculpt. Maybe you don't like the color scheme. But I think it looks very interesting, at least. I mean, you can take a look at his head. I mean, if you look at the figure like this, upper body, that looks pretty cool. It honestly does. Even the whole neck part matches well. The silver on the shoulders match well. A little bit of white, why not? You know, it matches pretty well. Very unique looking. And I'm actually surprised at how well this mold of the head fits with this body. And all I did was just take off all of the stuff, and there you go. So this is something to think about. I'm not really sure if anyone else has done this yet. If not, by April 25th, 2016, no one has, then, you know, give the credit to me. But yeah, try it out yourself, pass it along. You know, if you want to repaint the body, go ahead. But I kind of like the fact that it has all these different colors on it. I mean, because the head itself isn't just black. It has different designs on it, silver and white. Why not have it on the body as well? It does lend a definitely unique looking aspect to the figure now. Alright, so now, with that being done, that's about it for Reels. Thank you for watching, guys. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to wildlandcustoms.com. If you like the video, get a thumbs up. Peace!